Mr. Pierce, the Truth Seeker.
Call of Cthulhu, inspired by the legendary Chaosium RPG of the same name, tells a quintessentially Lovecraftian tale with writing so strong that you can't help but get sucked into the immersive atmosphere it creates. The story itself can be confusing in spots, and some rougher mechanics and levels do pop up occasionally, but Call of Cthulhu still delivers what is perhaps one of the finest cosmic horror experiences around. The hero of this story is Edward Pierce, a grizzled veteran and alcoholic PI who acts mostly as a blank slate for you to shape with the choices you make and the skills you choose to upgrade. A Pierce skilled at eloquence and knowledgeable about medicine will be able to notice certain things and coax out certain clues that a more strength-focused Pierce with a penchant for the occult might not, and vice versa. The finest writing in a very well-written game often comes as a reward for investing deeply into a skill, giving those decisions more weight and further personalizing your experience of the story. That story begins in almost rote pulp fashion, and very little is revealed at first glance. It is only over its 15-hour campaign that clues are dug up and the bigger picture starts to piece together. Finding those clues in Call of Cthulhu's detective sections is a true highlight. It's enjoyable to investigate the well-animated and atmospheric environments, reading notes and books, and taking in environmental hints. In certain key areas, Pierce can reconstruct events that occurred, and when the information hard-won through detective work meshes with the information these fun CSI Cthulhu segments reveal, magic can happen.
In his eyes, this symbol must have some protective virtues.
The questions Pierce could ask always seem to be the same ones you were thinking yourself. In many cases, you're only allowed to ask one question of the many available to you, but this never felt restrictive and indeed makes you consider what you want to learn most in any given conversation. It's a nuanced, engaging take on a detective game, and the chapters that highlight these mechanics are the best in Call of Cthulhu. Unfortunately, a small handful of chapters introduce stealth mechanics and even a couple of brief combat scenarios. The stealth is the definition of bland, not particularly difficult, but rendered agonizingly slow by labyrinthine environments that are easy to get turned around in. The combat is shoehorned in and completely jarring given the tone of the rest of the experience. Call of Cthulhu puts its own spin on the lore from the original H.P. Lovecraft short story, wraps it in a detective tale, and sends Pierce tumbling down the rabbit hole to Insanity Town. The deeper you dig, and the more you learn, the more Pierce's sanity comes under attack. Knowledge is not strictly a good thing in Lovecraftian tales, and while elusive answers might be satisfying to the player, they do a number on Pierce as he shambles inexorably down a road that ends in brain-rending revelation. Part of that impact comes from the sheer sense of weight and atmosphere Call of Cthulhu provides. The environment animations are fantastic, from a musty old bookstore to a decrepit portside tavern to dark and claustrophobic caves. The sense of place each new area presented was immediate and impactful. The sounds populating these spaces are just as good, even after stepping away. The baritone chanting of cults or the shrieking wails of an asylum's mistreated patient struck a sinister chord. Call of Cthulhu is a dark ride through a mad, cosmic horror nightmare with a paranormal detective story as your vehicle. Occasionally poor level and encounter design can make the eerily atmospheric road a little bumpy, but the engaging mystery and an intriguing utilization of RPG mechanics make it one of the more enjoyable Lovecraftian games in years. Thanks for watching. For more spookies, watch a review of Diablo 3 on Switch, and check out all the hidden ghosts in the haunting of Hill House. And for everything else, stick with us right here at IGN.